All right, we are still in step 4 of the writing process. We've been looking at different ways to add variety to our sentence structure to avoid becoming monotonous. So we are up to the third method, which is beginning with a special opening word or phrase. Now, oftentimes this will be a phrase that we have used in another part of the sentence, sometimes at the end of the sentence, and we can move that phrase to the beginning. And when we do that, we set it off with a comma. Let's look at an example of what I'm talking about. Here's a sentence that we're starting out with. Dan wiped up the water on the floor using a thick towel. Well, that's a perfectly fine sentence, but if we're trying to add some variety to our sentence structure, one thing we can do is to take that ing phrase at the end of the sentence, using a thick towel, and move it to the beginning. Using a thick towel, Dan wiped up the water on the floor. And so we haven't changed the meaning of the sentence. All we're changing is the structure to give it some variety. You'll notice that when I moved that phrase to the beginning of the sentence, I added a comma. Let's look at some more examples. You can start out your sentence with an ed phrase like, tired after a long shift, Dad fell asleep in his recliner. Another ing word like we just did with the last one, scoring as the buzzer sounded, the team claimed victory. We can use an ly word, which are adverbs. Luckily, the test was rescheduled for Thursday. Here's a few more. We can use a to-word group. To get to class on time, we should leave right now. And you can see how you could write that sentence, we should leave right now to get to class on time, but by moving that phrase to the beginning of the sentence, we've changed it up. We can use other prepositional phrases like, with Jane's help, Robert replaced the faulty valve. So all of these are examples of how you can take a phrase that's in another part of the sentence and move it to the beginning and turn it into a special opening phrase. Now, in the next video, we're going to learn to place adjectives or verbs in a sentence or in a series of sentences into a series.